Hey guys, welcome back to the Full Co. It's the day after our Thursday midweek Europa League game against Rangers up at Ibrox. So going to have a quick look back at the game. There's, depending on which way you look at it, there's either a lot you could get into in that game, or you can kind of skip over a great deal of it because it's kind of recurring themes from the situation the team finds itself in, the squad. So you can decide to go off on tangents about whether the squad has enough quality in it, whether we've got numbers, all of those kind of things. But if we put those to the side because we've talked about them in other videos, just looking at the performance last night, it was one that, again, so watching this one on the TV, it didn't come across that we, despite having a very strong group of players out there, 11 out there, it didn't come across as a particularly good performance. But it's never going to be an easy game going away to a resurgent Rangers team. So this Rangers team has kind of turned around this season. Just looking at their results and stuff, they've had a bounce recently under the manager. And, you know, I think they were unbeaten in 5. They're through to a cup final, all of these kind of things. So Rangers are coming into this without huge numbers of injuries, unlike us. They're coming in on a good run of form, unlike us. And obviously any away game anywhere is going to be tough, but going to Ibrox is an extremely challenging place to go and play your football, with the added spice of Ange Postecoglou going back there and you know, the crowd feeling towards him and how successful he was in his time with Celtic, and obviously Fraser Forster as well, going back there with his Celtic hat on. So I'm sure it's a very challenging night for him at both ends of the ground. But if we look at the performance, Rangers were the dominant team. If you looked at it across the 90, they played better, their system worked very well, and there's only so many times we can say it. With the number of injuries that we've got and with the amount of load going through the current players, we are not able to play Ange's system the way it needs to be played to be highly successful and to be dominant in games. And you can argue that we should be using more of the bench. We should be using more of the young players. We should be giving them minutes to take minutes away from our starters. But by the same token, it's entirely possible, based on what the coaching staff are seeing on the training ground, that they think if they do that, they will put at risk the confidence and the development of those younger players, because they're going to go into difficult situations and potentially not do that well, and that could affect them. And B, it will affect the results if they do go in and they don't perform. Obviously, from a fan perspective, everybody's really hopeful that you'd throw this youngster in and all of a sudden it's the next Gareth Bale, and that kind of fantasy, that kind of fairy tale is extremely rare. So to a certain extent, I trust in the coaching staff and I trust in their judgment on this one, but it's definitely affecting us. Now, there's another feeling in terms of this could also be a ploy by Ange and the coaching staff to put a bit of pressure on the hierarchy, to put a bit of pressure on the recruitment team and on Daniel Levy and the board to back him in January. He might well want reinforcements in January. Contrary to, you know, all the reasons we know January is not an easy window, and you know, can you bring in players of the quality that you need, or are they just stopgaps? And Ange says he doesn't like stopgaps. But playing this team in the way that he's playing it, he might be hedging his bets in terms of he still thinks this is the right group of players and the right amount of minutes to get results and to have better performances, but also it puts pressure on the board to sign players in January and to give him the reinforcements that he needs. So that could be an element to do with why he's not spreading out the minutes a bit further than he currently does. And I think he's made it very clear for everybody that's calling for Jed Spence as the kind of, you know, the one that everybody points to. He's made it very clear that he feels that would be a drop in level. So, you know, you can't be any clearer than that, and that's what he's seeing from Jed on the training field. So that's quite interesting to me. It also feels like Jed's contract renewal is more a financial decision than a than a team decision, a squad-based decision. But anyway, let's jump in. We've got some positives. Fraser Forster was, again, very, very good. And if we, fast forward all the way to the end of the game at 1-1, Fraser Forster with an absolutely brilliant kind of left-hand up save gets us a point. He earns us a point. And once again, in the last 4 or 5 games, every point we've gained, every draw we've gotten, Fraser Forster is playing a big part in that, because he's been excellent. He's stopping everything that he should be stopping, but there are other keepers who wouldn't, and so he deserves full credit for that. So we continue with the love in on Fraser Forster. He did very well in a very challenging atmosphere, so well done to him. Going back to the beginning of the game, we had an early chance, didn't we? So we had the Timo Werner wriggling through, I think off a Maddison pass. It was a good ball, played with good pace, and Timo Werner was just able to wriggle through the defender, past the defender. He squared it with his left foot, and Brennan Johnson just got his timing wrong, didn't he? He just gone a fraction early. Didn't score. It was a good save from Butland, but it was a good move, and it was kind of that, to me, felt like the best we could do. We weren't getting on top of possession. We weren't dominating. We weren't holding on to the ball. The game was really frenetic and end-to-end. And for me, anyway, that's absolutely not what I think this current Tottenham team needs, and the players who are playing and how tired they are. It's just not... It's not the way that I would want games to be going at the minute. So I would either want a team that is more dominant in possession to make the opposition do a bit more running, and for us to be a little less physical, just because of the load on the players. I understand that the basis of Ange's system is that physicality and that constant running, but yeah, it doesn't seem that this team is either able to do it or is being set up to do it. And then we managed to get out the first half where Rangers were the better team. But worst possible thing is come out in the second half and really hand the momentum to Rangers. And again, just such a poor goal to concede. People will talk about the quality of the ball across from Tavernier. I'm sorry, that goal should not be scored. For me, anyway, this is my opinion, and I would look at that as a coach. If I was coaching a team that conceded that goal, I would be in the video room on whatever it is on Saturday morning, if you got time to look back at it, and talking to players about their roles in that goal. But if you look at how it unfolds, Johnson is too easy. He lets Tavernier past him too easily. He's clearly knackered. He clearly hasn't got the legs at the minute. And he lets Tavernier get away a bit easy. I think Cherney is the winger that causes problems in the first half. Has kept high and wide, which pins Udogie. Udogie's spread, and it gives this ginormous area for Tavernier to hit across. Now, when you are looping in a ball from that far away and that deep, yes, it is a wonderfully flighted ball. The trajectory of it really does cause us problems. You might argue that Archie Gray is slightly too tucked into Radu as well, but all the advantage in that situation is to the defenders, to the defending team. There is no way that goal should be being scored. Porro is tracking. He reacts a little late, and then he comes in on the wrong side. He gets himself in on the wrong side. This really, really basic stuff. And it's a lovely finish. It's a really nice first time left foot, gets a nice flat surface and guides it back the other way. Nothing the keeper can do about it. So it is a lovely ball. It is a lovely finish. But with a ball looped with that amount of time in the air, that amount of time for everybody to adjust themselves, I'm extremely disappointed that ball finds itself, to the player to be able to get a volley on it without any pressure on him. He's got no pressure. He's got no challenge. Porro should either be coming through from the other side of him. So he's tried to get himself goal side, but the ball is already airborne. So when Tavernier starts to deliver the ball, Porro's behind, he's round because he's further up the pitch. And he should not be running in that situation the inside line with the ball floating that way. He should be attacking the striker's back shoulder. He should be attacking from that way to force the striker. If he wants that ball, he's going to have to turn on it and bring it down away from goal. He's going to have to go back to goal, hold up play, not let it swing in and let him have a go at goal. So yeah, poor again. I really think that Porro is struggling. Yes, mitigation is the amount of minutes he's having to play, but you know, basic defensive stuff, I don't think he's that kind of player anyway. So yeah, a poor goal, poor timing for us. Rangers were in control, and yeah, we struggled a little bit from there on in. We still couldn't really get a foothold, but we started to make changes. We did manage to create one chance, which was Porro doing what he does do, which is getting forward and you know, a ball across the box that was bouncing high. It was a lovely touch from him to kind of bring it down, really kind of like, you know, midsection height, and then get a shot away, which is well saved by Butland. He gets a leg to it, I think, and saves it. So, you know, we had a chance, we make a load of changes, and we do start to create a bit of a foothold in the game. And you can see that once we've got our, you know, first choice players like Solanke and Deki on the pitch, it does change. And Son obviously moving out wide, and he's pretty ineffectual up front. And yeah, a really nice move for the equaliser. Not against the run of play. So like I said, we did start to get a bit of a foothold in the game. And the quality of the goal shows you what you can do with, you know, the quality of the first teamers that are available to us. Nice and patient build up, and then start to move it really quickly. Managed to get the ball inside. Deki picks it up. He plays a lovely ball forward outside of his left foot to Solanke. It sticks to Solanke, which is the key to having a number 9 that can do that for you, and allowing the team to then come onto it, allowing the midfielders to come onto it. Maddison, I think, would have had a penalty because the ball is played across the box, and I think Maddison is actually chopped down, so we probably would have got a penalty, but he kind of steps over the ball, it goes through his legs, and Deki is following up. So it's actually a 1-2 in the end, Deki to Solanke, and then Deki on the return. Excuse me. And again, a lovely reverse finish, nice and cool and calm, and you know, the keeper's again hedging. He has to, left footer coming in, protect your second post, and or to have a chance of getting to your second post, and Deki reverses it. Lovely. There's nothing the keeper can do. It's a really calm and composed finish from a player that's playing brilliantly for us this season, and we're back in the game. And then it's from there on in, because we're starting to be a bit better. We still allowed Rangers a bit more transitionally in, but I was really pleased to see Berival come on, and he looks like he's starting to grow. He looks like he's starting to put it together. He's not conceding possession. He's not doing silly things. And it's all coming from a little bit more calmness, a little bit of like getting his feet under the table, getting into games. He's a talented technician. He's a talented player, and he's bringing that to bear, but he's simplifying. He's not trying to do too much. He's not trying to, you know, receive the ball under pressure, body a player, bounce him, and, you know, drag back and spin and go into space and do all the wonderful things that he was doing in Sweden. He's doing the basics, but he's doing them with quality. He's getting on the ball. He's demanding the ball, and he's keeping the game ticking over. So really nice from him. I'm really pleased for him to see that, because it's, for me anyway, this game could potentially be that start. It's not like a springboard game where he's slapped one in the top corner. It's just he's starting to put it together. He's starting to understand, and this was a good Rangers team and a physical team and a fast team. So it's really nice to see. I think he will make hay when we play against really technical teams, but not physical teams in these younger years. But yeah, seeing him go in there and really demand, and you know, Rangers obviously ran a little bit out of energy, and it allowed us to get on the ball a little bit. Doesn't mean we didn't allow chances. Obviously, we talked about the really big chance at 1-1 that Rangers had. Well done, Fraser Forster. You've saved us. You've earned us a point with that. From, was it Dessers is the player who's gone through, and he's done really well. And okay, he's turned Archie Gray, and Archie Gray could potentially have been a bit stronger in that moment. but he's not centre half. But yeah, the player does really, really well. Nice feet to get through onto his left foot, and then Forster with a great save. So we get out of there with a point. I think we stay 9th in the table. I think it was at the end of the evening, which is fine, which is okay. We're aiming for that top 8, right? So we want to be in that top 8, and we're there or thereabouts. So we've got a couple more games that, in theory, we would want to win, but we've got a bit of a break before we play those games. So again, if the universe is kind to us, we're still in there, we're still in and about it, and we might be going into those games with a few more players available to us, and who knows what happens in January regarding signings. I'm definitely not going to get my hopes up or get excited, but you never know. So yeah, we might be going into that in a stronger situation. You can only hope. And yeah, we're still in. Didn't lose the game, didn't play particularly well, but again, didn't play particularly well, but didn't lose. That you'll take that with our current injury situation, the amount of football that our players are playing. So it's not all doom and gloom. Wasn't a great performance by any means, and certainly systematically, my own personal feeling is when your team is running on fumes, would Ange slightly alter the nature of the press and the nature of the way that we're asking our players to do things? I would. He maybe wouldn't. But he's the guy in the hot seat. He's the guy that earns the big bucks. I might slightly look to, and I don't mean this in a pragmatic, right, I'm going to play a new system and stick everybody at the back. I just, don't press at the wrong times. Don't throw everybody, constantly basketball style up and down, up and down, up and down. Just be a bit more reserved in terms of, if the opposition has possession of the football in front of you, wait until you can get the team set up before you go on the press. Whereas at the minute, no matter who's in the team, as soon as the opposition have the ball with the keeper or the defenders or anybody, basically, we just start pressing, we just start going. And I just feel that the energy systems of all of our players are being really, really taxed by it. Whereas I would rather see a little bit more of block passing lanes, keep the ball in front of you until we can get ourselves into a really nice compact shape and spring. So you're still going to do it, but you maybe have 2 less really high intensity sprints across all of your front players and all of your midfielders in every phase of play, in every situation. Obviously, going forward with the ball, players seemingly have a separate energy system for attacking than they do defending. So, we would continue to attack with pace and, look for intricate build-ups. That would be my personal feeling. But let's see. That maybe that is the message and the players can't do it, or, not yet, are not really seeing it or understanding it, or maybe that's not the message at all. And it's just, this is it. And if we get it right, we'll bash everybody. So we'll see. So we move on. Hugely important kind of run of games coming up with Southampton. You could absolutely see Southampton, history repeating itself and us having another Conte situation. I don't think Ange would ever come out afterwards and say the kind of things that Conte was saying, but we could certainly, Dr. Tottenham turns up, Southampton haven't got very many points. We let them get out of there with a victory, and the pressure's really on Ange. I can see that happening. But obviously, I have to feel and I have to back the quality of player that we have to go to Southampton and get a result. And the one thing I would say is, because Southampton play not a similar system, but they have a similar ethos to their play as Tottenham do, I think without the quality of player to pull it off, I do think we need to back ourselves to get a result there. And that is what players as individuals, whatever group of players goes out there, I just want to see a group of players take it upon themselves to go and get a result. This isn't about the manager, it's not about the motivation, it's not about the system or the tactics, or just as a group of individuals, go out there. You're better 1 to 11, I think. Maybe Southampton's got that one winger, the young lad, who's very good, but you're a better team. go out there and win every single 1v1 situation on the pitch. And if you do, we'll probably win that game and probably win it comfortably, or at least, you know, a good away performance, a few counter-attacking goals, and we could put that game to bed. So I want to see, I'm not, performance. Do I want to see a performance? No, I want to see individuals, leadership, bit of commitment, and get us over the line by hook or by crook. Get 3 points. Don't go there and get a draw. Go there and get 3 points. That's what I want to see. And then obviously we go into the Carabao Cup against Manchester United. So again, that's the kind of thing. It could be a really, really big week. Win both of those games, we're feeling pretty positive going into the Liverpool game, or lose both of those, or draw one of them, draw the league game and lose one. Yeah, the season looks very different, and we go we get this continual run of games in a lot more negative headspace as a group. So let's see what we can do. Let's hope we beat Southampton, and then we'll take things from there. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Enjoy the rest of your week, everyone, and come on, Tottenham.